Pinto. Pinto, happy Passover. How's your first? Yeah, how's your first Passover going?
Pino, look this way. Show us your outfit, Pino.
Yeah, you got a matzah bib?
Pino.
He's got a matzah bib.
Hi, my name is Dav. Alright, let's go around real quick. Hi, my name is...
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. Happy Passover.
Hey, Nikki. Hi, my name is...
Hi, my name is Nikki.
Hey, Wai.
I'm Arab,
Oh, Rina.
actually. Hi.
Rina, what's your name?
みんなお名前何ですか？山本里奈さん。You are just so shy. Hello.
What's your name?
Mazel tov. My name is Yoriko.
Hello, I'm Masha.
Hi, I'm Ari.
Hi, I'm Kate and I am Taurus. I love tomatoes and black cat chickadees.
Hi, Jen. Hi, my name is...
Hi, my name is Jen.
Hi, my name is Hala. Haggadah, and it's actually surprisingly right on. So it's actually not that different, although Ari's in the house and he knows what the fuck he's talking about, so...
Side commentary about...
Well, there's just some... Oh, man. Oh, yeah, there's a couple that you... Right here.
Oh wait, no, they're not different. Babe, you just gave him through the same thing.
Look at that cute.
She doesn't have time.
Okay, has everybody got a song sheet and a... So...
Hit it!
Yeah, so, okay, so, just like a quick background. Oh,
Perhaps you want to sit on the floor there, and then we'll see you in the video.
how about if you...
Or do you want to sit here?
Yeah.
I can jump.
No, actually, I think this is good, because this is an easy way to... Why don't we just move this flower
I'd
and
like to be
keep...
seen. Nice to stand.
Well, it's just, I need to stand, I need to move. Okay, so...
I need to move.
So the Passover is like a really strong traditional family. We grew up mostly Catholic, but my father's Jewish, and one of the things that we did every year is we did the Passover, and that was like turned into this huge family thing, and it wasn't just a family thing. He actually, they started inviting their friends. It was all about community for them, and that's the community song. And their Passover is, my mom became a caterer because their Passovers got so large. At one point there were over 400 people at their Passover. So they were anywhere from like at the minimum like 20 people up to like 400 people. And they were doing it mostly ironically for their church. But anyway, it's a really big deal. My dad did slight modifications to it just because of his background being Jewish and then kind of getting interested in Catholicism. He had this like conversion in the park in Rome where God spoke to him, and so he kind of went on that path. So anyway, there's just a few minor differences. This is the first time I've done it before. I've been dying to do this for years and years and years. And I'm kind of going off of what they've done. It'll change a little bit, but there's going to be some like really dorky parts, and there's some dorky songs and everything, and it's pretty much like straight out of what my parents did, so we'll just live with that. Okay, so really quickly, just for the evening, I'm going to do a little bit of history, just talk a little bit about, just to kind of set the context for our people, for those of us who are having this Passover for the first time, like Pinto and JKB, who just recently found out she was a Jew just last year. The Seder is actually a little ritual meal. So we're going to have, we'll do the Seder in here, and we'll eat the ritual meal, and you're looking at it here. And then we'll go in and we'll do dinner, and the dinner is not going to be kosher. In fact, it's expressly not kosher. One of the things in my family was my mom baked challah bread every year, and it's amazing, and it's hard to imagine Passover without it, so we're totally breaking the rules and doing that. And we're going to eat whatever we want for dinner, and then there's a quick, short thing after dinner. I haven't timed this thing out, I have no idea how long it's going to run. I might trim here and there, but just drink some wine and just relax. Okay, so what is Seder? Seder, I think the cool thing about Seder is, like, as I was kind of going through it, Seder, I think, characterizes the Jews. I mean, like, it's kind of a quintessentially Jew holiday, because you know, like a lot of religions and a lot of cultures have a spring festival, which one of the things that Seder is a spring festival. But the Jews couldn't really just celebrate spring like the Persians and just be like, oh, it's all about life and beauty and rebirth and everything. The Jews, because their history is of oppression and because they were enslaved and all this, they can't celebrate spring without really thinking about winter and how they were enslaved and all the oppression and all the heavy darkness. But there's a little bit of fun mixed in there. So it's a 3,000-year-old story. So the Seder is the story of the Jews' exodus from Egypt. And so they were enslaved by Pharaoh, and then they were delivered by Yahweh out of Egypt and into the promised land of Egypt. And this tells of Israel, excuse me. And so the Seder is really the retelling of the story. The Jews are very storytelling, story-based. And so it's the telling of the story of the Exodus. Okay, so and so one of the things that's really cool about Seder is that it's not the Seder is all about this Exodus, but it's really the Jews are so in touch with like what it means, like what freedom means and what struggle means, and so really the theme of it is all about like struggle to freedom, and so it's no wonder that like Martin Luther King ended up quoting Moses and quoting the Old Testament and quoting a lot of what we'll read tonight in the Passover, because it's all about people fighting for their freedom. Okay, so during this thing, there's some participant stuff just to keep you guys awake. And I just figured we'd maybe just go around or whatever, whoever the participant. So, do you want to start?
Sure.
So the part where we speak of. So, what do we speak of at Passover?
Nice. We
Go ahead.
speak of the tyranny of poverty and the tyranny of privation, of the tyranny of wealth and the tyranny of war, of the tyranny of power and the tyranny of despair, of the tyranny of disease and the tyranny of time, of the tyranny of ignorance and the tyranny of color. To all these tyrannies do we address ourselves this evening. Passover brands them all as abominations in the sight of God.
And just read that.
The story of the Jews is eternally linked with humanity's passion for justice and liberty. We vow that we will not all their stories, their experiences, and wisdom to be lost.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
We will not forget all the stories, their experiences, and wisdom to be lost.
Okay, so quickly, who are the Jews? How did they get enslaved by the Egyptians? So, father of all Jews is Abraham. Cain and Sarah had a son named Isaac. Isaac and Rebekah had Jacob, and Jacob and Leah and Rachel had Joseph. Joseph had this great multicolored robe. His brothers got really jealous. They sold him into slavery. And, ooh, I'm going to check the collar.
Is this part of the show?
Yeah, totally. Jump in. I need to, yeah.
Wait, back it up with the Joseph coat of many colors, because we studied this in Catholic school.
Yeah, this is all going to sound very familiar to you,
Yeah.
because it's all about the Old Testament.
Right.
So, I don't really know that much more about that story. It goes on and on and on. You're wanting to know what more?
Wait, I was like, bring it back. Okay, here's that play, too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Technical Well, I just remembered that, that was a very Joseph in the coat of many colors, and like our catechism classes was a really big deal because we always had to color it. It was like one of those stories that really hit home. It was like,
because it was colorful.
And it was kind of vain. It was a lesson around vanity.
Does anybody? I don't remember. I don't think Joseph was very vain. I think his brothers were, because
they hated him because of his good-looking friend.
I think so.
But wasn't there something about the inheritance, and that's why they hated him?
And did he spend it, or
maybe he was the
like
oldest?
a different? I can't remember. There was something about giving some of his money to different children at different times.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, okay, so
I can't remember.
Abraham.
Yeah, so Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac to Jacob, Jacob to Joseph.
Okay.
Joseph gets enslaved in his slavery. He ends up in Egypt. He actually ends up in prison in Egypt, but he, like all Jews, was really smart, and he was really good at interpreting dreams. And so the Pharaoh started having these crazy nightmares. And one of the nightmares was about 7 fat cows and 7 skinny cows. And nobody could interpret the dream. It doesn't seem that hard to interpret any of it. He heard about, well, you'll hear the interpretation. He heard about Joseph in prison, and he said, bring him on over. And so Joseph came in and said, there's going to be 7 years of abundance and then 7 years of famine. So you should start squirreling away some grains for the dry years.
Squirreling away.
Squirreling away. And sure enough, that's what happened. And Pharaoh was just so impressed with Joseph that he made him the minister of all of Egypt or something like that. So anyway, Joseph is living fat, and then once the famine starts, his brothers came from where they were living, wherever that was, Canaan or whatever, came into Egypt and were like starving because they didn't know about this.
But they'd exiled.
And then Joseph was like, oh my God, I know you. And it was his brothers. And then instead of being a dick, he said, come on in, don't worry about it. I'm like chilling with Pharaoh. And Joseph went to Pharaoh and said, hey, you know, we need a place to stay, my brothers, and can I bring them in? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Tell you what, why don't you guys live here? You can have this land and do your thing all as Jews. And he's like, great. And so they did that, and they were prosperous, and they were turning the desert into, you know, into whatever. But then a couple generations go by, new pharaohs. Jews are smart, they're industrious, they're multiplying, they're very fertile, and they're getting big and they're getting strong, and the pharaoh started to get a little bit worried about like, hey, what happens if the Jews, and so they started to enslave them slowly over time. And so then they enslaved them, and then they kept growing, kept getting stronger even though they were slaves. And then finally the pharaoh said, okay, all the males, all the little boys that are born get drowned in the Nile.
But there's a reason why, and that's because the Pharaoh had there was a prediction that the Pharaoh would be killed or put out of office by a boy who was born this year.
Wait, say it again?
There was a prediction.
Oh, of course, I remember this.
The Pharaoh was going to get killed by a boy who was born this year.
Oh,
like,
so all the boys were okay.
So they killed all the boys.
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah. And there was one little boy when the midwife took him down to the river to drown him. Was like, oh, this one's so cute. I think he looked kind of like Pinto. And they're like, I can't do it. So they put him in a little reed thing, float him down the river. A little basket, a little reed basket.
Yeah.
Lands at Pharaoh's temple. One of the handmaidens, one of the whatever, picks him up and is like, oh my God, he's so cute. Look, he's got red hair. And then she named him Moses, which means brought forth from the water. And so Moses grows up in Pharaoh's court, doesn't even know he's a Jew, has no idea, but he's like always troubled by the harsh treatment of the Jews. And one day he's watching a Jew get beaten by the slave master, and he goes and like tries to intervene and ends up killing the slave master. And then he's now busted, and so he flees, and he goes up in the mountains, and he's living as a shepherd or whatever. And then there's a burning bush, but that's not burning, and and then he hears God say, go to Pharaoh and
What do you mean there's a burning bush, but that's not
He goes in the mountain, he's in the mountains one day, and there's a bush on fire.
Right.
But the bush isn't burned, I mean it's burning, but it's not like being consumed by the fire.
It's
just burning. He's like, what in the hell? So anyway, and he gets the word of God, like, go to Pharaoh, tell him, let my people go. And he's like, all right. And so he goes to Pharaoh and he says, hi. He goes to Pharaoh and says, let my people go. And Pharaoh's like, yeah, right. And then he's like, okay, well, now God, what do I do? And then God went, he said, okay, tell him if he doesn't let your people go, then the Nile is going to turn to blood. And he's like, okay, I'll go tell him. Told Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, sorry. And then into the 9 plagues. Okay. Actually, I went way more into the story than I meant to. Let's just put a pause on that story and go to the blessing of the candles. Kate. Yeah, so, oh, shucks.
Let me go throw my...
Okay, so the blessing of the candles. So the Seder is a special ceremony that happens only once a year, but Sabbath happens every week. It's sort of the end of the week, sort of like on the 6th day on the 7th day you shall rest, sort of thing. And wait a second, Kate. Kate lights the candles and reads the following. Ari says...
Wait, so I'm supposed to light them?
Yeah, you can. Well, you can light. Actually, why don't you light them and then say that.
So maybe Ari can start reading while I'm lighting?
Yeah.
So Ari, you want to read while I read?
Yes.
Or
Baruch
read
atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom
Just great.
tov.
It's really good.
Okay, was that all of it? I'm sorry.
Okay, so
what that means is...
Did you say it, read it again? Kate?
He just read it, I'm about to read it.
Oh, great.
We say that all life is sacred. In kindling festive lights, we preserve life's sanctity. With every holy light we kindle, the world is brightened to a higher harmony. We praise the sovereignty of all life that hallows our lives this night with light.
It was beautiful. Okay. Okay, so now comes the first cup. Tonight we're going to drink at least 4 cups of wine. And there's 4 ritual cups of wine. Okay, and each one of the cups represents a promise made to the Israelites by God. And the first promise is you will be freed from slavery in Egypt. And really, this thing is that, but it's also like just a toast to Yahweh. Ari.
Oh. Yeah.
At the top.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechiyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh.
Damn. Okay, participant. Chickabee. We praise.
We praise the sovereignty of life, the energy that gives us life and keeps us alive, so we may celebrate this season of joy.
All right, bombs up.
I think my...
In fact,
Is this yours?
I think we're going to need to get another bottle of wine. We're going to have a bottle of wine.
By the stove.
Oh.
Hey, you guys, just for the record, too, my dad never called Joseph a dick, like he did.
What was that, Amber? What was that?
I said, just for the record, my dad never called Joseph a dick.
You're making me a little nervous.
Yow. Okay, who wants to open it? Okay.
Are you moving on to the next thing?
Yeah, I'm trying to jam. Washing the hands.
Why are you jamming?
Just because I don't know how long this is going to last. This could go on for a long time. I think it's going to be all right, but...
I think it's good.
You know, we can also chat at leisure over dinner too.
Yeah.
People at a certain point traditionally get hungry.
And we're going to eat, we're going to be chomping on this pretty soon. The choset is... Okay, I have a new recipe, Amber.
What about the hot cloth?
Okay, so we're going to wash our hands. So maybe the best thing to do would be to...
I'm going to walk around and then have people...
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so the washing the hands, I don't know, Ari, there's not much to this except wash your hands before, clean.
Right, and well, yeah, before every meal, there's a tradition to wash hands, and you know, there's a way to do it, like you do three little pours of water on one side and 3 on the other side, or something like that.
Mm.
But I don't know if Passover is done a different way or not.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna dip in. We're just gonna dip in. Sweet.
So this is rose water?
Can you give some people some more?
And just dip your hands, and then if you take that one of those
Just give it a
towels
little
and
bit,
pass
please.
it.
Like ours was.
Otherwise, that's all.
Yeah, it was just...
Does anybody need any more wine? She went to a Passover. And it wasn't.
It's Passover, Pino.
Go get them in it.
Okay, we gotta wash our
There was
hands.
no education.
We did little reading.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did.
Do you want this? This. Here, wait.
Hey, Ari.
Here's another more of this one. Would you like to try the new one? Which one?
Can you dry your hands real quick?
Yeah.
And I'll do my hands. So ritualistic, isn't it? Thank you. Do it again? Okay. Smash this part. Such a, yeah, like that's Japanese. Pinto, what about pinto?
So 3 into one side?
Yeah, usually, like, often
Oh, that's
you have 2-handed cups. Look at that.
You want to help me
You have like
have
these
Silas
two-handed
watch
cups.
hands?
You go 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have.
Oh, I see.
You pick up the other handle and go 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Oh, God.
Oh, ew.
A marker.
Yeah. Thank
Purple
you.
grand.
All right, Doug.
He knows what to do.
Get your hands
He
in there.
totally went in there.
One.
Yeah.
Gotta do 2 more.
Oh.
2, 3. Good work. Okay, can I hold it for you?
I'm gonna hold it for
That was fun.
Yeah, a little fun.
You want a hug?
We got 3 times?
No, just a grab.
All right.
You want the water.
You want to take a bath? You want to sit in? That's big enough for you to take a bath.
Yep. Okay. Do you want me to hold it for you or?
Uh-oh. Can I have my paper? Thank you.
Smells good. I can smell it.
That bread?
God.
Yeah. Thank God we're not. Thank God we're not kosher. You wouldn't be smelling that. You'd be smelling some saltines.
Well, I was going to make some matzah because we can't find
I was thinking
it.
about that. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's try that next year.
Yeah, next year, absolutely. That'd be fun. Sure.
Okay, so the next part of the meal, or the next thing is, I just checked it in 5 minutes, is called karpas. And, you know, the Jews were a kind of pastoral people, and the spring is really important. And so the karpas is really nothing more than just a vegetable that kind of springs up in springtime. And you know what I'm talking about. And so we eat the karpas. But the thing is that this is something that I just added. It just seems so obvious to me. But the karpas, the little spring thing that pops up, in this case it's going to be a radish, is represents the Jews. Like when the Jews left Egypt, that was the beginning of a new chapter for them. Like it wasn't just leaving Egypt and going to Israel. It was like they got their God for the first time. Yahweh sort of semi-existed at that point. Like gave them the commandments. There were all these rules. They became a people. And when they got to Israel, 40 years in the desert, they were finally like fully a people. And so it's really like newborn. It's like rebirth.
He's gonna eat the paper. He might pull that.
Okay, so. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so there's this poem called The Song of Songs. And I was thinking that two people could read that. Nikki, that'd be you.
Okay.
It's under karpas.
Under carpet?
Yeah, and it's a poem and read it poetically. It's all about love and springtime.
So right under carpet?
Yeah.
All holidays have their origins.
Oh, sorry.
Under
Under participant.
Come, my beloved.
Okay. Come, my beloved, my lovely one, come. Behold, winter is past. The rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The season for spring, for singing has come, and the song of the turtle doves is heard in our land. The fig tree is forming its first green figs, and the blossoming vines smell oh so grand. Come then, my beloved, my lovely one, come.
All right, Emma, you wanna?
Come, my beloved, let us go to the fields. We'll spend the night in the village, and in the morning we'll visit the vineyards. We'll see if the grapes have blossomed, if the pomegranate trees are in flower. For then shall I give you the gift of my love.
We'll spend the night in the village, he says, she says. Okay, so now we can't just, as Jews, we can't just celebrate spring and falling in love. We have to remember the pain and the sorrow and the struggle. So what the Jews do is they dip the karpas into salt water twice or once. Once or twice, and the salt water represents the tears of our ancestors and the pain of life. So you're at once, it's always bittersweet. It's always sweet and sour. So we take up the Kiddush cup and proclaim the holy as the day of deliverance. Ari. Oh, shucks.
Wait, is this, were we supposed to dip the carpet?
I don't.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei puri hagafen.
And then everybody, we praise the sovereignty of life that creates the fruit of the womb.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei puri ha'adama.
We praise the sovereignty of life, the force that creates the fruit of the earth. All right, so let's do it.
Can you walk them there around?
Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is we have a little, we got a a radish, right? That's what we're going to do this time. So take the radish and that's the salt water. Dip it, lick it, and split it.
And say morning is broken.
Morning is broken.
I skipped ahead. We're gonna sing that together.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see
Sing it together.
We're gonna dip it.
Dip it, lick it, and quit it.
Do I dip it in the greens or
In the water.
There's a little bit
In the
of,
salt
you
water.
have the
Yeah,
radish and
both.
green?
I think both.
maybe that's Immer's thing.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
there's another little plate right up there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look it.
Dunkin'.
Don't.
Dunkin' radishes.
Yeah, here, no, that's what happened with Rena. There you go, Rena. There you go. No?
Believe me, bud, you do not want to eat this.
Yo.
Mama likes it, but you will not like it. There's a
Right.
lot that's on this thing that keeps going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, we got some.
Oh, okay. Okay. So while you're chopping them up.
Freedom. Scary.
Yum.
Alright.
Love radishes.
Yum. So yummy. Radishes are like, I never used to like them until more recently.
Really? Oh God, I love them.
They're so peppery. They are. Holy. Whoa!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, show the
Whoa,
camera
there
now.
it is. Damn, that's
Motherfuckers.
right.
Yeah, show the camera.
That's right.
That's
So
right.
big.
Yeah, we're gonna have some
That's
time in a little bit.
Yeah.
You want it now, huh? The thing I like the best about Passover is the relating the theme of slavery to freedom in a more abstract sense, like your
Okay.
internal process of freeing your mind so your ass can follow kind of thing. And then many non-traditional Haggadot, the books that direct the ceremony, will make all kinds of references to other situations where people were slaves, including literal slaves in different situations in the world today.
We're gonna do that too.
So it's our
Or
time.
does it happen? It happens right now usually.
Well, throughout the story.
So it's our
Yeah.
ways of which to think about how we trap ourselves.
Yeah.
Or how we
Yeah.
hold ourselves
I'm
back.
going to be asking you to think about contemporary slave situations, so you should be thinking about that so you have a really good answer for me when we get that part of the password. Okay, so morning has broken. Morning has broken! I'm sure you all know this. If you know Cat Stevens, you know the song.
It's very high register. How do you sing it?
Well, somebody's got to kind of... If somebody else doesn't kind of lead the song, then I will.
Oh boy.
Is it on the
I'll try
It's on
it.
the song.
It's no one.
I vaguely remember this song, so.
Wait, Nikki, you have one? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I
ready?
did have one. I'm sorry. You guys are- Okay, so you guys know this song.
Yeah,
right?
I know it.
I'll translate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each verse sounds the same, right?
Yeah.
So we're all just singing the whole thing. So just Kate, just get it started. Or one,
Okay.
or two, 1, 2, 3, and.
Morning
Has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the spring, fresh from the word. Sweet the new rains fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness, where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden's our play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's great creation,
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word.
Okay. So the next part is the afikomen. And the afikomen is a Greek word that means dessert. And it's kind of a fun little thing that has a little bit of significance. And the history of it is that so as we'll learn once we get into the 10th plague, the Paschal lamb, the lamb figures prominently into the Jews' exodus from Egypt. And so the lamb becomes a really important signal. And every time they do a Seder, they have the lamb. They sacrifice a lamb. But at one point, there was a temple in Jerusalem that then got destroyed somehow. And then after that, because of, it's hard to get a lamb and it's expensive, and also the temple's gone, they decided just swap out the lamb for some matzah. And matzah, as we'll learn a little bit later, has a lot of meanings, and we'll get into those meanings later. But anyway, the afikomen really represents the lamb, but also, as we all know, sharing the bread forms a bond of fellowship, and that unites all that are separated. So this is all the meaning of the matzah as we go forward. And so the matzah now means not only matzah, but it also means the lamb. So we're going to take 3 of these little matzahs, and we're going to break them into the smaller piece. Ari, do you know how this all goes? The large piece is wrapped in napkin and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Okay, so I take 3 of these, right?
They watched as candles.
I got them. Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so there's 3 matzah. We take the middle one, break it in half.
Break the middle one.
Break the middle one in half.
Wrap it up.
Oh, wrap it up in the cloth.
Yeah, and you hide it. And the kids go and find it, don't they?
Yeah, so this is the kind of fun part to keep the kids engaged. Quinto, don't look, Quinto.
Why don't you put it underneath that, and then Rena will go get it.
Shh, don't look. So the afikomen is hidden.
Oh, we don't get it now?
No, we don't get it now. We get it to the
right.
But later on, the kids get to go find the afikomen, and then they get to bargain for and get some money for giving it back. Okay, Ari, would you like to read some things?
Break it down!
Okay. Who's a participant now? Yoriko. Under afikomen, it says participant.
You did? Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Under afikomen. Have you not been following along? It's alright, that's alright. No, wait, let's read this. Oh, wait.
I'm sitting on the afikomen.
Isn't that the thing?
We'll never find it.
No, oh wait. Oh yeah. This is the bread affliction.
This is the bread of affliction, the 4 bread our ancestors ate as slaves in the land of Egypt.
Alright.
Kol difin ya sev ya kol diznit ya sev yafsif.
Yoriko, why don't you just continue on?
Okay. Let all who are hungry come and eat. Let all who are needy share the hope of this Passover celebration.
Hashatach acha l'shana haba ba'avad Yisrael.
This year we are here. Next year we may be in the land of Israel.
Hashata avdei l'shana haba b'nei Purim.
This year we are still in bonds. Next year we may be free. Okay. I don't know, you want to add anything to that?
Well, let's see. I mean,
by the way, Ari is totally like the legit Israeli Jew. If this was written in Hebrew, he'd be reading it like he was fluent, which he is.
my Hebrew is very, very weak.
But anyway, he's reading the phonetic, which is kind of weak.
Yeah.
Which is making him sound which is making him sound not as legit as he is.
They have, for example, in that first line it says Egypt, it has it in English at the end of phonetic instead of in Hebrew.
Yeah, this is Darcy's
Ryan is the word for Egypt. So anyhow, a little confusing. But I'll just admit, one thing, I mentioned in the second line the bread of affliction. So the whole point of the matzah, maybe I'll mention since this is all about matzah, is that so after the 10th plague, Pharaoh finally said, okay, all the Jews can leave, no longer slaves, we'll let you just go. And but you got to leave today. Get out of here before I change my mind. And so they were making their bread, and they didn't have time to let the bread rise. Yeah, so that's the whole point of matzah, is that you are experiencing the unleavened bread, the bread that is baked without having enough time to rise. And so that's why we have matzah. And then in fact, the whole tradition around matzah is that for the whole 7 days of Passover, you don't eat any bread, starting last night, first night of Passover. So for the whole week, you ritualistically get all the leavened stuff out of your house, and then you don't eat any leavened. Yeah, we're talking about leavened bread. That's pun. You only eat matzah. I mean, you don't eat anything leavened, and then there's all these.
You give her the flour too, right?
What's that?
Don't you give her the flour too?
That's right. Yeah, flour. So everything that's leavened is called chametz, is a special word for leaven, Hebrew word for leaven, and there's actually quite a lot of things that get incorporated. As with all Jewish dietary laws, it's surprisingly complicated. So they have all these definitions. For example, like if water comes into contact with flour, then after it's like 3 minutes or some kind of set amount of time, it becomes chametz, and you're not supposed to have it in your house at all. And also, you're not supposed to eat rice, and there's other things besides just flour.
There's certain Sephardic Jews that eat rice anyway.
Right, and then this is the main sort of Ashkenazi tradition, but then Sephardic Jews have other traditions about what exactly is chametz and what the rules are about it. And then what it comes down to, though, is that's why, for example, they eat macaroons instead of making a flour-based dessert, and why you have so people make all kinds of flour-like things, but they make it out of matzah meal, which is matzahs that are ground up. So that you're allowed to use, and it's kind of hard to make things taste good, though. So that's another thing that people who are Orthodox will struggle with.
Yeah, and this is why also the Passover gives you certain special insight into the Jews, because they're incredibly anal and really into rules. And really into rules. Okay, so the 4 questions. So the kids in the crowd are probably starting to feel and the impatient adults are probably saying all right, come on, what's going on here? Why is this night different from all others? And since the Jews value education and curiosity, they encourage the young ones to ask questions. And so there are 4 questions that get asked traditionally by the youngest one in the crowd. And so I was thinking that tonight, since Pinto can't read yet, that maybe someone would like to ventriloquist Pinto asking the 4 questions.
Okay.
And hopefully Pinto will go.
Yeah.
The whole time they're doing that.
Pinto, are you ready? All right, so Kate.
I'll do it.
So Ari's got a little phonetic. All right, Kate.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
It's our turn. Ready?
Wait.
You ready? Yeah. Okay, this is our moment to shine. Okay, ready? Let's go. Oops. Okay. Why is this night different from all the other nights? On all other nights, we eat either leavened bread or matzah. Why on this night, only matzah?
Yeah.
On all other nights, we eat all kinds of herbs. Why on this night do we especially eat bitter herbs? On all other nights, we do not dip herbs at all. Why on this night do we dip them twice? On all other nights, we eat in an ordinary manner. Why tonight do we dine with special ceremony?
Keto. Very good job. Okay. Do we have a participant that would like to speak up now?
My turn?
Yeah, the struggle for freedom.
The struggle for freedom, for the elusive rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice is a constant one. In every age, some new freedom is won and established, adding to the advancement of human happiness and security. Yet, each age creates more pharaohs and more enslavements requiring new liberations. The victory over the first pharaoh in Egypt was but the beginning, a foreshadowing of all the emancipations that were to follow, and which will yet follow in the days to come. We are still enslaved because we are still all struggling to be free. We are duty-bound to retell and expand upon the story of Exodus from Egypt, to remind us to work for the time when all the pharaohs of the world will be vanquished, when right will conquer might, and all peoples will enjoy peace and freedom. All raise their cups of wine.
Okay. Now, before we drink this, the story of the Exodus takes place a long time ago in a land far, far away. But like Nasha just reminded us, there's lots of enslavements happening today. And so now, let's just think of some of the people and some of the kinds of enslavements that are happening today. Would anybody like to speak up? I can think of, on Passover, it's kind of hard not to think about the Palestinians and the kind of enslavement that they're in. Does anybody else have?
Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, very good.
Yeah. People in Haiti right now who are fighting over lack of food. Eating mud cakes out of mud and vegetable oil. They have nothing.
Yeah. Any others?
Zimbabweans trying to get rid of the dictator.
That's right.
And living in crazy inflation.
And waiting to find out what's going to happen. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Any others?
People in Iraq waiting for peace to come.
Yeah.
I was just
Darfur.
waiting for peace to happen in his pants.
You know. Darfur. Like it goes on and on, doesn't stop. Also, just like child slavery, like there's all kinds of children that are enslaved all over the world working, and then there's like and then trafficking of girls. It's just so horrible. They're all waiting for their exodus, just like the Jews had. So, we raise our cup of wine, participant.
For neither once, nor twice, nor 3 times was our destruction planned. In every generation they rise against us to destroy us, and in every generation we take back our freedom.
Oh shucks, we can't drink yet. Alright. Okay, so Moses and the 10 plagues. The last we left Egypt, they were enslaved. Okay, and all the boys are meant to be killed. Then we talked about Moses, how he grew up and then he fled and he saw the burning bush. And he says, let my people go. No, God says, go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. And that's a great time to sing the next song. Go down Moses. Okay, Kate, song leader. Would somebody like to... Does anybody know this song, Go Down
Only
Moses?
the chorus. Why do the chorus?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, you want to do it? Lead it.
Well, I don't know how to sing, but I know.
Just start singing it, and I'll sing along with you.
When Israel was in Egypt's land,
let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Okay, now you know how it goes. Then Moses offered to the Lord, let my people go.
and told the Hebrews of his word.
Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go.
The hand of God shall lead the way.
Let my people go.
A fire by night, a cloud by day.
Let my people go. Hit it. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go.
Now let us all from bondage flee.
Let my people go.
And let us round the world be free.
Let my people go. All right, this is last time.
Go
down, Moses. Way down in Egypt's land, tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Okay, so then Moses went to Pharaoh, said, let my people go. He said, no, they mine. There were 9 plagues that were visited amongst on the Egyptians. None of them really worked until the 10th plague. But we're going to do a little thing. The Jews do a little thing right before they talk about the 10th plague. So we have a full cup. Actually, somebody wants to read this. I'll just read it. What the hell? Okay, you want to read it? Do it, Jen.
Okay. A full cup is the symbol of complete joy. Though we celebrate the triumph of our sacred cause, our happiness cannot be complete so long as others had to be sacrificed for its sake. We shall, therefore, diminish the wine in our cups as we recall the plagues visited upon the Egyptians, to give expression to our sorrow over the losses which each plague exacted. We now recite the list of the 10 ancient plagues, pouring off wine as each one is mentioned.
So you can just dip your finger and then onto the plate, just get a drop of wine for each plague, and Ari's going to call them out as we go.
Wait, I'm not ready.
I'm calling them in Hebrew, so I'm going to read them in English.
Say it in Hebrew.
Down.
Blood.
The Nile was flowing with blood.
Spardea.
Frogs.
Frogs all over the place.
Kinin.
Lice.
Ew, gross.
Arov.
Swarms.
Swarms. Was that the locust? No. Swarms of something.
Devel.
Blight.
Shifin.
Oils.
All over.
Barad.
Hail.
Albert.
Locust.
No food left after locusts.
Hoshech.
Darkness.
Darkness all day long.
Makak V'chor.
Death of the first
Oh, actually, shoot. I meant to. Okay, yeah. Boom. Okay, so now this is sort of an additional thing. Each an additional drop of, now this is sort of the modern thing, adding a few more drops to the thing. Not just for the Egyptians, but for now for the... Huh? Yeah.
So additional, so I'm pouring in new things.
No, we're going to drink this. This is our second glass of wine. Oh, yeah. People have wine in the
But,
port.
oh, I thought the next thing was pouring in some additional drops of hope.
No, we're taking out some additional drops. Okay.
Out of your cup.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were pouring in more for hope.
So these additional drops that we pour out of our cups is in hope and prayer that people will cast out the plagues that today threaten everywhere around the world. And these plagues are in our hearts. And does somebody want to read these? Nikki? Apathy in the face of evil? It starts.
Apathy in the face of evil.
Are you hungry, sweetie?
Drop that one.
Boom!
Boom.
Brutality towards the helpless.
Boom.
Cruelty towards the weak.
Amen.
Despair of human goodness.
Amen.
Envy of the fortune of others.
Get it out of there.
Falsehood corroding our faith.
Ugh.
Greedy theft of the earth's resources.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
Hatred of learning and culture.
The egghead syndrome.
Instigation of war and aggression.
Oh, Bush.
Justice delayed, justice denied, justice mocked.
Alright. Okay, so 9 plagues. The 10th was the doozy. It was going to work. God told the Jews to prepare for a trip. He said, slay the best perfect baby lamb that you have, and take the blood of the lamb, paint it on the doorway outside of your door. I'm not telling you why. In the meantime, prepare to split. No time for baking bread. I gotta roll. I know how long it takes to bake bread. I've been baking that bread since yesterday. I wouldn't be rolling today if I was baking that bread. Okay. Now. Okay. Then the angel of death came and passed over the Jews. Okay, so participant, Kate. Look under. Look under. Where are we at? The 10 plagues. The participant. Moses said, "This is Yahweh's message."
Thank you. Moses said, "This is Yahweh's message. Towards midnight I shall pass through Egypt. All of the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of the Pharaoh, heir to the throne, to the firstborn of the maidservant at the mill. And throughout the land of Egypt there shall be such a wailing as never was heard before, nor will be again."
Yeah.
Dying.
Not yet.
And it was night when Pharaoh summoned Moses. "Get up," he said, "you and the people of Israel, and get away from my people.
Go and offer worship to Yahweh as you have asked, and go. And also ask a blessing on me.
Alright, so next comes Dayenu, and this is a really fun song. So go to your song sheet.
Hey, Carlos, we're going to sing Dayenu. Yeah.
I think I'll just kind of chime in on that one and read the part, and then you guys just sing the chorus, and the chorus is really simple, you'll see it. But the participant, Kate, why don't you just keep reading since you...
Okay.
So Dayenu means even that would have been enough. That's the translation. But Kate has a couple more words about Dayenu.
What does this mean, Dayenu? Dayenu means to celebrate each step towards freedom as if it were enough, then to start out on the next step. Dayenu means that if we reject each step because it is not the whole liberation, we will never be able to achieve the whole liberation. Dayenu means to sing each verse as if it were the whole song, and then sing the next verse.
Alright, so let's do it. Dayenu. Okay, so the way that goes is we go Dayenu, 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 and then I say, had he led us out of Egypt and not divided the sea for us? Dayenu. And then Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Had he divided the sea but not permitted us to cross on dry land? Dayenu. Okay, wait. Had he permitted us to cross on, we'll do 3 of these. Had he permitted us to cross the sea on dry land and not sustained us for 40 years in the desert? Dayenu. Had he sustained us for 40 years in the desert and not fed us with manna? Dayenu. Hit it. Dayenu, 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 Pito Dayenu, Dayenu. Had he fed us with manna and not ordained the Sabbath? Pinto. Dayenu. Had he ordained the Sabbath and not brought us to Mount Sinai? Dayenu. Had he brought us to Mount Sinai, Pinto, and not given us the Torah? Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Okay, had he given us the Torah and not led us into the land of Israel?
Dayenu.
Had he led us into the land of Israel and not built us for us the temple?
Dayenu.
Had he built for us the temple and not sent us prophets of truth? Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. And there's one more, I kind of didn't do this right. Had he sent us the prophets of truth and not made us a holy people? Dayenu. Okay, last time. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Oh, that was okay. Okay, you guys, we are on the precipice of eating dinner. Okay, Passover symbols, huh?
For real?
For reals. Yeah, this is it. Okay.
We're almost here.
All right. Okay, so there's the Passover symbols. There's 3 symbols of Passover. They're really important. The first one is Pesach, and that's the lamb. And it's the lamb's blood that told the angel of death, pass over the Jews, don't kill the firstborn. So there's that. Okay, the matzah. There's 3 meanings of matzah. It's the simple bread of poverty. This is what you eat when you're enslaved and you can't. You just got flour and water.
You can't rise it.
No, but not because you don't even have leavening, because you're a slave. Not because you're splitting, but because. Okay, 2. It also symbolizes the great haste with which the Jews left Egypt for their exodus, and finally, it represents the simplicity and equality for all, as opposed to getting embroiled in selfish luxuries. Let it teach us to find delight not in the selfish luxuries that excite the envy of our neighbors, but in the simple acts of helpfulness and kindness that inspire their respect and love. Okay, so that's the matzah. Maror. Oh wait. Maror. Maror. Maror is the bitter herb.